What is going on out there, peeps? Um, hey, well, yeah, heck, I almost don't know where to start. So, we definitely are in some crazy times. There's no doubt about it. I think one of the biggest problems that we have out there is, while there's several major problems, is trying to figure out what is what is the truth. We have people that have been easily divided. We are divided by race, religion, wealth. There's 50 million things that divide people around the world. The media feeds into it. The politicians take advantage of it. And I'm like, why now? This is the worst it's ever been. How do we end up this way? How do we get to where we are? Well, if you get a group of useful idiots that have no problems selling out their own morals and ethics, because the money to them is way more important than doing the right thing, then we have a problem. And that applies for pretty much everything. Yeah, whether it's Antifa, Black Lives Matter, these lying doctors, the lying media, the lying politicians. So anyways, I got to doing a couple of videos last night to add to this platform. And I thought to myself, the information that's on here, it's something that everybody should be aware of. But how do you go about presenting it in a way to get people to just at least listen to what the information says? And then from there, it's up to them what they decide. But not everything is going to be, oh, that's a conspiracy, or oh, that's misinformation, or oh, that's fake news. We have gotten to that point now where if something doesn't line up with our own belief systems, we automatically discredit it or disregard the information. And sometimes this information could be very vital to us. Literally, it could be life-saving. This job that they're doing dividing people is they're doing a phenomenal job. And you can't help but sometimes feel you're a part of it when you're trying to tell yourself, hey, I'm here trying to bring awareness, but by bringing awareness to it, are you helping the situation or are you making the matters worse? Because some of these things you can't just ignore. Some of these things people are purposely being misled. So you can't help but go, wait a minute. Hey, pay attention. Listen to this. Because you think you're doing the right thing. I was having a conversation with my friend. We're joking around about different things. We're talking about in the old YouTube, the other YouTube channel that I had, it was removed. And he's like, removed? I say, yeah, for talking about things that are not on the governmental approval list of subjects. I jokingly said, but it wasn't joking. He said, I thought that was just fake news. I said, what do you mean? He goes, these people talking about conservatives being censored on platforms. I said, no, it's not just conservatives that want you to believe that, but they are the target. Anybody that's a supporter of Trump, anybody that is conservative, anybody that speaks out against this agenda, anybody that tries to share the truth, it doesn't make a difference about their political belief systems. They're censored and being removed off platforms. People are forced to find alternative ways to get their message out. It's unfortunate. It's not just a matter of these tech giants controlling the narrative along with the media. It's what they're trying to keep us from learning, which is the truth. Now, you guys know I watched that movie, The Plandemic, and it blew my mind. You know, I'm surprised I'd never heard of it. Again, it's just one of those things. You can see why this movie was not released in theaters and why it was removed off platforms. But ever since then, I've been reading a ton of articles, a ton of reports, watching a ton of videos. This isn't just happening here, this is happening around the world. They're trying to prevent the truth coming out about the Rona and a jab. For years, you hear people talking about these group of people and this plot to control the world and their agenda to reduce the world's population. And when you first hear about that, if you've never done any research whatsoever, you go, that sounds like a movie. It sounds like bullcrap. It just sounds unreal. That it's impossible to do. That in order for something like that to happen, it would have to be done on such a large scale that it would seem impossible. And that it's hard to believe, or you would have to think about how many people would have to participate in this. It's hard to believe there's that many evil people out there. Well, maybe there's not, but there's enough of them to control the willing and the unwilling in order to make this actually happen. If you put the right people or the wrong people in the right positions, they could pull this off. One is you control the flow of information and how it is shared. You control the media, they control the narrative. Anybody speaks out, they get discredited, they get attacked. If the person becomes too big, they get removed. You control the politicians. They will support any policies that you want implemented. They will make any laws, make any changes necessary to make sure that this agenda is implemented and nothing interfering with it. Discredit anybody that speaks out against it, especially professionals. If a professional speaks out, you discredit them, you call them crazy, you dig up stories in their past, blow them out of proportion, you do everything you can to smear these people. Dig up everything we know about them, even the smallest thing, and use it against them. We can either blackmail them, scare them, bribe them, or kill them. One way or another, they're going to find a way to remove any kind of obstacle in their way of an agenda. If you put the wrong people in the right place and they become politicians, they get to a place of power, then they control the military. Growing up, I have to ask myself, we grew up, I'm born in the 60s, loved the 70s. It really was a fun time. The 80s, we had the Cold War. And we were told the USSR, they're the evil people. I noticed throughout time, though, whatever enemy it was we were fighting, all of a sudden movies were made to help indoctrinate the thought or to use as propaganda. That's not no secret. That's not a secret. When we went to our world wars and we fought Germany, all the movies made during that time were about the evil Nazis. Korean War, Korea. Vietnam War, Vietnam. Cold War with Russia, the Russians were the enemies. During the Desert Storm and Desert Shield Wars, we had terrorists that were the enemies in all the movies. The movies help control the minds of the masses. I bring that up for a reason. As I continue to dig around and try to bring information that I could bring to you that I cannot do on this channel here, but can do it on my platform, because it's important. This gives me an opportunity to talk about things that I cannot talk about on this platform here. So there's some great stuff on here. Sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel. All you have to do is grab the information and just share it. But last night I did a video that has been bothering the bejeebus out of me. And so I decided to reach out to a close friend of mine. He's got a medical background. And we started going over the information that was on the video. And I said, how real is this right here? Because some of this I'm aware of and I know about. But some of it is a little beyond me. Well, it kind of, I think, caught him a little off guard. Because even with his background, he had not thought about these things. So him and I are going to sit down later on and go over all of the information in this video, and then some, to see if the claims made by this doctor is anywhere close to the truth. There's a doctor saying that if you have been inoculated against the Rona, there absolutely, positively no way to help you. It's inevitable that you will cease to exist. Now, I thought, wow, man, that's really kind of outlandish out there. Is it really that bad? Well, again, I had a brief moment to talk with my friends, and he said, I'm going to interview him. We're going to go over this information. I'm curious to get his input because his background, again, is in the medical field. So we listened. I briefly explained to him what the doctor had to say. And he said, yeah, that's really scary, actually. Because if you think about the way people are responding to this medicine that we were given, he said it actually lines up with what this doctor is saying. Some people will have an immediate reaction and they'll cease to exist. Others are developing either through pre-existing conditions, developing aggressive forms of their sicknesses that eventually cause them to cease to exist. And others are developing new aggressive sicknesses. So I'm eager to get him on. I know he is on the road at the moment. I'm also going to be reaching out to a couple other doctors, including one that is in this video. We have already been emailing each other. In this video here. So he's going to allow me to do an interview. There's a couple of things he just wants to ask me. He wants to make sure that he is going to be talking to a person who is not out to attack him or that's legitimately concerned about what he has to share. I understand why. the more you go through these videos that is in this category, the more you understand why these doctors have reason to be concerned. When you watch all these, it puts a huge puzzle together. So the thing that sucks, and tell my friend, he's like, yeah, well, how do you share information with people who absolutely hook, line, and sinker believe what they're being told? How do you just say, listen, I understand you don't want to listen to this other news? One, because it is scary. You don't want to believe that these people exist and that they're capable of doing this. Two, the thought of all of a sudden losing a lot of your loved ones at one time is pretty painful. But I can't stress this enough. And people need to focus at least on one category. So I'm struggling with trying to figure out how to talk about it without getting in trouble. That's the thing that sucks. And this actually is exactly what I'm talking about. These doctors, they're being attacked, either thrown in jail, killed, censored, discredited, license taken away for telling people the truth. But this one here, you can see the title right there. What I don't like about it is the way the doctor, and just because I don't like it, because it makes me feel uncomfortable, doesn't mean it's not true, and it doesn't mean that I should not talk about it. Because the way this doctor is presenting this information, he's presenting it as this is final, period. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing anyone could do about it. It's done. What you can do is try to prevent others from getting the same fate. So for those of you who are on my platform, I'm curious to see your feedback on this. So just under this video, since I can't play that video, under this video, if you check out this one particular, this one that I posted last night, you see it here. Check that one out. I'm curious about your opinion on it. Again, when I said the movie, the planned demic. People are like, yeah, it's been out all year, too late. No, the thing is, I was unaware that it existed. It's been removed. It's been silenced. So how many other people are missing out on information because it's being censored, removed, erased? Anyways, it makes you think. So this is not any longer about, oh, congratulations, you're woke. We've been talking about a lot of these so-called conspiracies. They're not conspiracies any longer. These are the truths. So it's no longer about, oh, somebody's woke and somebody's not woke. No, it's a matter of how do we defend ourselves against an enemy that's greater than us, or so they appear, even though we outnumber them by the billions. How do you bring awareness to something that people should at least hear, be open-minded about it, and think to yourself, what if? So, again, I'm going to be doing an interview with a friend of mine. He is got a background in the medical field. I'm going to try to catch him on today. I'm going to see if I can't get both doctors on at the same time, because this is what they specialize in, this area right here. We already generally went over it with one of them. Whatever it is that we talked about definitely stopped him for a brief moment and got him thinking. So I'm curious to get more input from him. He has not had a chance to watch the video, so we're going to watch the video together, and then I want his impression on what is on that video, and then the other doctor is already making his rounds across the media around the world, I would love to have him on as well. Anyways, I want to share this with you because I think it's information that's important that should get out. My first my first instinct was just to say screw it and post it on this platform, but then they erased this platform. So anyways, you guys go check it out. Once you watched it, I'm curious about your opinion. Just post it underneath the video, this video, because you can't comment under that one. So go over here and say, hey, you watched it. What do you think about what this doctor has to say? Because this doctor is a whistleblower as well about what happened in the 80s and 90s regarding the AIDS virus and how it's tied into what we're dealing with today with the beer bug. All right? Anyways, you guys want to share this information. I'm trying to be careful with my words. It's too bad we have to be that way. I'm trying to walk gently and talk about something without being obvious and getting in trouble, but it's something I want to bring to your attention because I'm curious. I want to get your input out there. So go ahead and check it out. And if you think it's worth sharing, make sure you have loved ones come and listen to it as well, along with all these other videos that are in that category. All right. That's it for now, you guys. I'll get back to normal investment talk here. I've been trying to think about how to approach this and bring this to people's attention without getting removed. So that's it. You guys let me know what you think. Go check it out and then come back and comment under this particular video right here. All right. I'll catch you later. Meow.